Alright guys, this is the area questions, not project, area problems and how to work this out. So we have what is the area of a triangle below. So area is all of this. It's not perimeter, so perimeter is the outside, but area is everything in the inside. Okay, so if you are going to build a room, you need to know the square footage, which is the area of the inside. You don't want to build a small room and not have enough square footage. So you have to use area to figure out what's on the inside. So area is how much space a flat surface takes up, which is what I just told you. So it's all this white space in between. So you guys are going to need to know the area formulas. So here is the area formula. We have area, which is A, equals base. So that's the bottom of the triangle times height divided by 2. Sometimes you will see area written as, for a triangle I should say, 1/2 base times height. However, that is the same thing, those are equivalent to area equals base times height divided by 2. This is the one that I would use. It's going to be the easiest for you. So, let me erase that. Alright, so we have area. We don't know what it is. That's what we need to solve. We need to solve for A. And we know that the base is 1. So we have 1. And the height is 1. So 1 times 1. Oops. Divided by 2. So remember PEMDAS, we have multiplication first. So we're going to do area equals 1 times 1, which is 1, and bring everything else down, divided by 2. Well, all we have is 1/2. 1 divided by 2, we're just going to leave as 1/2. Now, we have to write it in square units. That's a unit for measuring. Our units are yards. Okay, and the reason that we square it, so you're going to write it like this. The reason that we do that is because we're multiplying yards times yards. So we're technically squaring that. So you're going to type 1 dash or /2, and then you're going to use, it's called the caret. The caret is located on your keyboard at the 6, so you're going to hit Shift 6. Oh, well, maybe you have to type it. Yards. Well, how am I supposed to do that? Maybe we just hit submit. Ah, we just hit submit. Sorry, guys. Ignore that little part. So when it asks you for square units, just hit, just type in your numbers. Okay, it does the square unit part for you. Okay. The next problem says, based on the dimensions, the base and height given, which of the problems below shows a triangle with an area of 18 square feet? So now you have to work backwards. We know what A is. We have 18 feet squared. That's your area. Equals, we know we're going to divide it by 2, but now we need to take these numbers on A, B, C, D, and E and apply them and figure out which ones, when we put them in for B and H, are going to work. So let's try A. So A is going to replace B with 6 and the height with 6, and we're going to divide that by 2. We get 36 divided by 2. So if we do that over here to the side, 2 goes into 3 one time, 2 goes into 16 8 times. So we get 18, which means these are equal, so they work. So A is one that will work, okay? So now I'm going to show you one that doesn't work. So we're going to try B. So we know that we need to equal it to 18, and B is going to go in for base, which is 9. And then we're going to multiply that by the height, which is 2, and then divide by 2. So we have this first, because the multiplication is coming first in this problem. Let's see, 9 times 2 is 18. Then we're going to divide by 2. 18 divided by 2, you should know that off the top of your head is 9. 9 and 18 feet squared are not the same thing, so B does not work. So that's how you're going to work on these problems. I'm going to go ahead and solve the rest of these, and then you'll be able to figure it out on your own. Okay, I had to restart this video because I did something wrong. So I'm going to restart this. Apologize for that. And erase all this. Okay. So, You guys know we have to do area equals base times height divided by 2. Alright, let's go ahead and put this into the problem. Alright, B is 16, H is 12, and we're going to divide by 2. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is just take 16 times 12. So we get 6 times 2 is 12, carry your 1, 1 times 2, 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Put your 0 to move your place value. 1 times 6 and 1 times 1. Now we're going to add those together. 2 plus 0 is 2, 3 plus 6 is 9, and your 1. We get 192. So that's the first part, so that's done. Now we need to divide by 2. So we get 192 divided by 2. 2 goes into 19, excuse me, 9 times. So we get 18. Subtract that, you get your 1. Remember to bring your 2 down. 2 goes into 12, 6 times perfectly, so we get 96. So that is one way you could solve it. I'm going to go ahead and put that down here. The next way that you could solve it, let me erase all this, is by taking that 16 times 12 divided by 2 and using that divided by 2 first. So we have 16 as the base, 12 as the height, and we divide by 2 always. And the reason, let me tell you that we divide by 2, is because the area of a square is base times height, or a rectangle. If I take and add the other half triangle, I make a square. So that's why we divide by 2, just a little FYI for you. So, back to where we were. We can take this divide by 2 and apply it to 16 to make that multiplication a little bit easier. We only apply it to the 16 because there's only one 2. So, we can do 16 divided by 2, which is 8, and then we drop our times 12 down. Now we don't have to do any division. We did the easy division first, and we don't have to do the hard division later. So now we can take this and solve. We can do 12 times 8. So we get 8 times 2 is 16. Carry the 1. 8 times 1 is 1. 8 times 1 is 1, excuse me, plus the 1 is 9. And we get 96 inches squared. Okay, so submit that answer, and we are correct. Alright, the next thing you're going to do is make sure these statements are true. I'm going to show you one that is true and one that is not true. So we have flag A and flag B. We, according to part A, up here, okay, flag A has an area of 56 square feet. So let's try it. So we have to do area, let me get my pin back on. Area equals base times height divided by 2. So the base is 9, the height is 6, and we're going to divide by 2. I'm going to solve it another way I just showed you, just so you can see. We know 2 doesn't go into 9, but 2 will go into 6. You can do that as well. So we have 9, 6 divided by 2 is 3, times 3, we get 27. So obviously A is not true, okay? Alright, so we knew this was, the area of this one was 27. Okay, we're going to put that in there. Alright, now the next one, B, says flag A has a greater area, so they're saying that this triangle is greater than B. So we're going to try B out. We're going to solve for B. So B, our base is 9, and our height is 5. We need to divide by 2. Now, for this one, I'm not going to do trying to divide the either this or this divided by 2. Because they're not even numbers, and that makes it difficult. So I'm going to do 9 times 5 first, which is 45. And now I'm going to divide by 2. So put the 2 on the outside, 5 on the inside. 2 goes into 4 twice. So 2 times 2 is 4. We get 0. Drop your 5 down. 2 goes into 5 2 times. We get 4. Now here's the problem. We're out of numbers, right? So we have to add a 0. When we add a 0, we add a decimal. So we have 2 times 10. 2 goes into 10 5 times perfectly, and boom, we're done. So our answer for this is that the area of this triangle is 22.5. So in this regard, B is correct. Flag A has a greater area than flag B. And if you're looking at C and D, flag A has an area of 27 feet. We already solved that. And flag B does not have an area of 45. You would get 45 by doing 9 times 5, but remember you have to divide by 2. So we're going to go ahead and submit that. Awesome. This is the same type of question here. I'm going to pause it, and you guys can try to answer while it's paused with me, or you can move on in this video. Okay, So you're going to find the area of a right triangle. A right triangle will have a right angle. Okay, right angle is 90 degrees. With the base, so the base is the bottom of 3 and the height is 4. Okay, so now let's figure out the area. So you know area equals base times height divided by 2. So we have this equaling base is 3, height is 4, my goodness, height is 4 divided by 2. Alright, so 3 times 4, this one's easy, we can do multiplication across first. 3 times 4 is 12 divided by 2, which is 6. So you're going to choose the one that says 6 square units, okay? I'll show you the other way, just so you can see that extra little division part. There we go. Alright. So, you could take, because they're even, 4 divided by 2, which is 2, and you replace that 3, you keep the 3 and replace the numbers next to it with 2. 3 times 2 equals 6. Alright, so the other questions that I did that you didn't see were lots of repeats of the which one's true, all of those types of things. So this one I think you'll have a pretty easy time with. Just remember that area equals, for a triangle, area equals base times height divided by 2 at the end, okay?